Hey everybody, welcome to the garden. I hope you're having a great day. A shout out to the lemon and lime lovers and everybody in between. It's time for the day trading session recap, and this is the seventh session of the 2 week free trial. So, this is the last week, guys. So, if you haven't been in the room, please hop on in. Friday is the last day, so that's the 26th. And we're going to go over the Bybit account real quick. So as you know, we started with $500. We actually had a negative day, but today was not a negative day, not in my book at least. Even though we lost some money, it was a pretty fun day, pretty wild day, and a lot of learning. So as you know, if you watched the last day trading recap, we closed at about 700 plus, so it's like 704, $705, and as you can see, the equity right now is at $688. So we lost about 12 to 14, $15, but we were actually a lot lower earlier in the day than that. Okay, so let's go over the trades and specifically talk about what happened. So if you're in the Discord, you may have noticed I went live twice on the Discord. I did the morning session, which is around 9 a.m. to 10 to 11 a.m. And then I'm also trying to do where I'm going to come on in the afternoon, and this is mainly for people who are in different time zones than me in the US Eastern time. So for me, it's anywhere from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern time. I was looking to come live at 4 p.m. today, but I have stuff to do, so I ended up coming on a little earlier. So I went on around 2 p.m. It lasted about an hour or so. We had two trades in that hour. So I'll try and do that going forward, where I have the morning session and then I have the afternoon session. Just, be patient with me. The afternoon session is a little malleable because I do get busy later in the day. So there will be some times where I come in on 2 p.m. and there'll be some times where I do come on at the market close at 4 p.m. Okay, just if you can be in there, be on in there, especially during the free week trial this week. Okay, so starting with the morning session, it was a pretty interesting day. Really interesting first trade, and it was mainly our biggest loser, and it's what kind of really reminded me on how important it is to control your risk and also respect that markets will do what markets will do, right? So I'm coming to the 15 minutes. I want to show you this specific candle. So take a look. So this 15-minute candle right here, let's actually hide everything. This 15-minute candle right here absolutely caught me off guard, okay? So it was an incredible candle for my trade, but this candle affected my decision making going forward while I was managing the trade. So let me go into further detail as to what happened. So I actually went short this trade. So let's go down to the 1 minute here, just so it's very clear what we're talking about. So my thinking was, as I was watching the NASDAQ, and if you are aware, the NASDAQ and crypto have a very tight correlation. So when I saw weakness appearing on the NASDAQ, I decided, okay, we're likely going to see some downside in the crypto sphere, in the crypto market, and that's what happened. But what occurred during that downside was unexpected. Okay, so there was an ascending trend line structure here. I'm not really drawing it super cleanly, but this trend line is what got me to begin a short position. Okay, so here we are right here. All right, so this trend line is what started me down the short position, and at first the short looked absolutely incredible. All right, so we had an original position to go short once price started tapping on the bottom of this rising trend line, and then we had an add-on to that short at this hourly pivot level right here. Okay, so we went short here, price rose a little bit higher, and then it tapped our add-on. Okay, and then for a little bit we were in drawdown, as you can see, and then boom, that 15-minute candle happened, and immediately sold off extremely hard. Okay, pushed us deep into profit, and this 15-minute candle implied so much bearish action to come. Okay, you had this long topping wick, almost pretty much this double top formation over here, and then out of nowhere, the next 15-minute candle absolutely blasted through minor resistances here, started to threaten the top of this wick. And even then, I was still fairly confident that this wick would hold. This candle was so bearish at the time, so strong, that it was so unlikely that we would have another massive 15-minute candle. But that's exactly what happened, right? And then we ended up getting stopped out. So the positives we can say about this trade is I had the wherewithal to put the stop above that wick, right? So I knew if price were to come back to this level, that was it, right? There was really very little chance that we would hit that level and then come back down. We were likely going to burst through it, and that's exactly what happened. But it was a steep loss because we had, an add-on. It was a much bigger position than the average, so we lost around, I want to say, just under $60. Just under $60, including the fees. So it was definitely a big loss for this small account. And we had to stomach that because that's part of it. And after that, took some time, continued to watch the charts. I was reminding the people in the trade room at the time, we're not revenge trading. We just have to wait and see what the charts show. And that this is part of the game. You're going to have times where the probabilities are really on your side, but they're just probabilities, not guarantees. And price will go the other way. Okay, if this is supposed to work 80% of the time, well, 20% of the time, it's not going to work, and it's going to happen. And you'll notice that the more you trade. So this was a great reminder of, even though I had a great thesis on why I took the short, I had some initial price action that went my direction. That I can't predict everything. The only thing I can, protect myself from is myself, and make sure to control my risk. And that's exactly what I did. And that's why I was able to trade into the future later in this day, and then I'm going to be able to trade tomorrow. It's just because I could handle being wrong here, and that's the lesson you definitely need to absorb from this. It's okay to be wrong. Everyone's going to be wrong, but you need to be able to withstand being wrong multiple times in a row, because it will happen. It has happened. It will continue to happen. Okay, and the only other thing I can think of maybe having avoided the loss is closing out here. The thing is, though, trying to look in hindsight and say, oh yeah, I should have closed here. There really wasn't much reason to close there, right? Okay, we broke this key trend line, had a very bearish 15-minute candle, and there was really no signs that were saying that this pivot level was going to hold, and that even the VWAP was going to hold. It looked fair game to come all the way back down towards an hourly pivot, and then there was also a larger time frame ascending structure just under there. So I saw a lot of reasons why price should go lower, and I was not able to see any reason for price to burst through higher. But it happens, and it happened for a couple of reasons. One, obviously the equity market started turning around. The dollar started tanking today. So there was a few things as to why it happened, but there's always going to be reasons in hindsight. Okay. All right. So that was our big loser for the day. Not our only loser. We had 4 trades today, and 2 trades in the morning session, 2 trades in the afternoon session, and 1 winner in each, 1 loser in each. So we'll go over each one. So that was the big loser for the day, and that was in the morning session. Then we had another trade. We were patient. We waited for a clear setup. We had another trade that was appearing on the 1 minute and 5 minute, and it was actually another short position, right? So we saw another opportunity to go short, and I took it, right? So I ended up taking this position here, and what I do want to mention is because my position for the first trade was $700, right? So I had a $700 account. I was exposing per position $350. Okay, and now since my account fell back under the $700 threshold, I was now exposing only $300 per position. So the reason why I'm highlighting this is because this is another form of money management and risk management. I was lessening my exposure because my account suffered a loss. So that's something you also should really look into and really value highly. It's going to help you, extremely well, in keeping yourself alive in the markets. And it also helps with compounding interest, because as your account grows in value, you can increase your position size. You just have to be disciplined to lower your position size as your account may decrease in value. So this was a $300 position off 10x. We started building short. Then we had a nice little drop, pop back up, and you saw there was a lot of fighting here, and finally it gave way, and we were able to ride all the way back down, pretty much towards the hourly pivot right here. So that was great, and we ended up closing. So I believe after this first losing trade, we were down to about $344. This close, we were up, I want to say $360 to $358. So we had made some back. We had like maybe turned it into a $40 loser rather than a $60 or $70 loser. So that was really nice. Then called it for the day, gave it some hours, it came back. So found another opportunity to go long. Okay, so this was a great trade. Worked out pretty well, and kind of like the first trade, really outperformed my expectations on how fast the rise would be. So what I observed when I came back was we were coming into a descending structure on the 5-minute, right? So I saw this was potentially a descending wedge pattern. It was coming into the VWAP. We saw a lot of bullish activity here. I started to buy pretty much right here. We came a little lower. I did another buy down here. So our average entry was right around here. So if I could rate myself, I would say it would have been better if I was a little bit more patient and waited for price to come lower towards the VWAP to add on. We would have even had a better trade if I did that. But in the end, it did work out. Held the VWAP, held the cluster of volume nodes as support. Respected that this was a descending wedge, and was looking to play the one-to-one move, which is still not fully played out, which is about 35,870 to 35,860. So once this price gets hit, we know that this full descending wedge pattern played out completely. But essentially, we watched as we went into drawdown. So we were in the red. We had a full $600 position, and then as I was narrating the trade in the room, we did see that rise, and boom, we had a massively powerful breakthrough of that descending wedge pattern. It's very clear on the 15-minute, all in one candle. We had I think it was like almost a 1.5% candle, 1.6% candle, and we ended up closing just right around here, right? So I ended up closing the trade just right around here, and we actually hit $700 again, right? So that's when I saw an opportunity for a second trade. Okay, so I saw an opportunity to take a second trade, and I took a very tight trade. Okay, so when you have a very good trade, in my experience, it leaves you open for bad mistakes. So I saw an opportunity possibly forming on the 1-minute, and there was some correlation with the 5-minute, and then the 15-minute candle obviously was so powerful that I did want to respect that we could see more momentum up. So I decided to take a quick stab long. Okay, so I took a stab long as we came to this hourly pivot, and I put the stop loss right under this wick. Okay, and for a little bit we were seeing some positive momentum. I was looking to see if we were going to have a burst higher and then a very big impulsive move on the next 15-minute candle, but that's not what happened. We did have that rejection, and we were going to go into what looks like longer consolidation. And we did get stopped out, and rightly so. As you can see, prices come lower since. And on that trade, we risked, before fees, it was about $8 to $9, and then with the fees, it ended up being about $12, $13. So that's where we are sitting now at $688. So overall, a negative day on the account equity, but trading wise, not that bad. I thought it was a great day overall because it was a day full of lessons, and it's also a day that reminds me and hopefully people that were in the group with me that markets will do what markets will do, and we can't control them. All we can control is ourselves, right? And that's the only way you can have consistent success. Take it from someone who's done it for quite a while. You can only have consistent success when you control your emotions and you control your decision making, and always have it backed with logical thesis and logical ideas, and don't get pushed around by the market. Stick to your guns. All right. And I think that's all I'm going to go over for the daily recap for the day trading session. Just a quick reminder, this is the last week of the free trial. So if you want to hop in, experience it, see if it's something you like, that you might want to look to join the actual tier on the Patreon, then this is your opportunity to do so. Because once we hit Friday afternoon and I do that last second session, this will go behind the price wall, which is on the Patreon for you to see. The Patreon link is in the Discord, as well as in the link in the description of this video. You'll see the link to both that and the Discord. So make sure to check it out if this catches your eye. All right, everyone. Remember, be patient, be vigilant, and be nimble. Love you guys. Take care. Bye.